I get lots of messages about air hunger on this channel. So, do you ever feel as though you simply can't take a deep breath? Do you find yourself yawning, sighing, or trying again and again to get air into your lungs, yet no matter what you do, it never feels quite enough? Does that tightness in your chest leave you convinced something must be wrong with your heart or your lungs? Now, if you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Many people living with anxiety experience this unsettling symptom, and it's commonly known as air hunger. It's the distressing feeling of not being able to take a deep or complete breath, even when your body is getting all of the oxygen that it needs. Hi, and welcome back to our channel, where we talk about all things related to anxiety and our mental well-being. Today, as you've probably gathered, we're going to be talking about air hunger and that feeling of not being able to take a deep breath. So if you've been experiencing this alongside worry and anxious thoughts, then this video is for you. Please do stick around until the end, as we will also offer some guidance to feel calmer and more in control of anxiety. So if you're struggling with anxiety on a regular basis, you may also wish to have a look over in the description at the end of this video, because we have lots of free resources and workbooks that you can download. Now, as an anxiety specialist and therapist at Better Your Life, I see this every week in my practice. People describe air hunger as one of the most frightening sensations that they've ever felt. It often arrives suddenly, sometimes in the middle of the night, or just when they're sitting quietly at work. They notice their breathing, they start focusing on it, and the harder they try to control it, the worse it becomes. But here's the truth. Air hunger is a symptom of anxiety, not a physical illness. It's our body's way of trying to protect us when it mistakenly believes that we're in danger. So let's explore why this happens, how our nervous system is involved, and what we can do to calm our body and regain our natural rhythm of breath. Now, to start, let's understand what anxiety is, why it changes the way we breathe. Now, anxiety is not just a thought pattern, it's a whole body experience. When we sense a threat or pressure, the brain sends an alert through the autonomic nervous system, preparing the body for action. This is known as the fight and flight response, or the fight, flight and freeze response. Now, our heart beats faster, our muscles tighten, our breathing becomes shallow and quick. This automatic shift is designed to help us escape danger by sending oxygen to our muscles and to our limbs. But when there is no real physical threat, and when we're overwhelmed by worry or stress, anxiety, the body doesn't know the difference. It still reacts as if something dangerous is actually happening to us. Now, over time, this pattern of rapid, shallow breathing can create sensations such as chest tightness or heaviness, a need to yawn or sigh frequently. It can create lightheadedness and tingling sensations, that feeling that you can't get enough air. Now, the NHS here in the UK recognises breathlessness as a common symptom of anxiety and panic, often caused by breathing too quickly, which alters the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood. These sensations, while very distressing, are temporary, and they are reversible once the body feels safe again. So let's start by understanding the science behind air hunger and why it feels like you can't breathe. You may have noticed that babies instinctively breathe in and out using their belly. However, as we get older and when we feel anxious, our breathing tends to move higher up into our chest rather than deep in our diaphragm. This change leads to a drop in carbon dioxide levels, which in turn makes the brain think it's not getting enough oxygen, even though oxygen levels are normal. Now, this creates a loop. We start to feel short of breath, so we end up focusing on our breathing. The focus increases tension and chest tightness, and the sensation worsens, leading to more anxiety. It's a downward cycle that can feel impossible to escape in the moment. Research from Harvard Health Publishing explains that anxious breathing can produce sensations almost identical to asthma or other respiratory issues, even when there's no medical cause existing. Now, this overlap often causes people to seek repeated medical tests, which come back normal, yet the fear still remains. The truth is, your lungs are functioning perfectly. It's your nervous system that's misreading some of the signs for danger. Our breathing is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. This functions automatically in the same way as our heartbeat does, the same way that our body temperature is regulated or our digestion does all it needs to do. It requires no conscious thought from us at all. Our autonomic nervous system has two main branches. There's the sympathetic nervous system, which energizes and prepares the body for action. It's often referred to as the fight and flight, or the fight, flight and freeze. That's the two different interchangeable ways that we talk about it. And then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, and this helps us rest, recover and repair. I often refer to it as the rest and digest mode. Now, when anxiety takes over, our sympathetic nervous system becomes overactive. Muscles around our chest and our diaphragm tighten. Our heart rate increases and we become hyper aware of our breath. When we experience this, our body is not malfunctioning or broken, it's just overprotecting us. It's trying to prepare us for danger, even when that danger doesn't actually exist. Now, our incredible bodies are doing their best to ensure our survival. However, in the modern world, we are perceiving danger when we realise that our to-do list is overflowing, or we get stuck in traffic, or have a disagreement with a friend, a partner, or a colleague. So, before we continue, you may be wondering, who am I and how am I qualified to give you this advice? Well, my name is Jennifer Roblin and I have helped thousands of people just like you to take back control of their anxious thoughts and to calm their body back down and their mind, keep it calm. I'm an experienced anxiety specialist and therapist working within my private practice with clients on a one-to-one basis, online or in person, and I've been doing this for the past 10 years. Now at Better Your Life, we help clients re-establish balance and their nervous system with nervous system therapy. This teaches the body and the mind how to return to a state of safety, and it goes far beyond just breathing techniques. It helps you change the body and the mind's automatic response to stress. So a client of ours, I'm going to call her Sarah, she came to see us after months of feeling as though she couldn't breathe. She was explaining to me how she was lying awake at night, trying to yawn her way to a deep breath. Now, each time she couldn't get that breath in, panic would rise throughout her chest, her body, and her heart rate would increase. She had been to see her GP, had tests for asthma and heart issues, and was told that everything was normal. Yet she still felt trapped by the feeling of air hunger, not being able to get that breath into your lungs. Now, together, we explored her thoughts and her breathing patterns, and she was able to recognise how tension was being built up during moments in her day, particularly around work meetings and in the office environment. Now, I guided her through several gentle nervous system resets and taught her how to reconnect with her body's natural rhythm rather than forcing the breath. And within weeks, Sarah's symptoms eased. She no longer feared bedtime and she began to be able to trust her body again. Now, what changed wasn't her lungs. In Sarah's case, it was her relationship with her breath. Sarah was constantly trying to yawn so she could increase the breath in her lungs. However, while yawning is something everyone does, most people are not quite sure why it happens or what it even means. Many people also worry that yawning a lot means that they are not getting enough air or that something is wrong, especially if they are feeling anxious. The truth is that while many people still believe yawning is the body trying to take in more oxygen, studies now show that our oxygen levels do not actually change when we yawn. What researchers have recently found instead is that yawning helps cool and regulate the brain's temperature. Studies have evidenced that the brain's temperature rises slightly just before a yawn and drops immediately afterwards. So yawning is one of the ways our body helps to shift between different states. Now, we often yawn when we are tired because our brain is preparing us for sleep and slowing down. Like I say, yawning cools the brain slightly and it helps rest. This is why yawning occurs in the evenings when we first wake up or even when our energy dips during the day. Yawning is also linked with the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the body that helps us relax, digest our food, recover, strengthen our immunity, and to feel safe. Now, when we yawn, the muscles in our face, our throat, and chest gently stretch, and this stimulates the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve can slow the heart rate, deepen the breath, and create a sense of calm. So yawning can be a sign that the body is trying to settle. Yawning is simply a sign that the nervous system is shifting from alertness, the fight and flight response, into the more relaxed state, the rest and digest. So this is a positive sign that the body is regulating itself. Now, other people notice yawning when they feel anxious. This can happen because anxiety often causes shallow breathing and muscle tension. The body then tries to correct this with yawns to deepen our breathing and release tension. This can sometimes feel like air hunger or the sense that we're not getting a full breath, which is where the confusion arises. Now, this can make people worry even more. So again, it becomes a downward spiral. And this is a common anxiety symptom and it's not dangerous. Yawning also feels soothing because it combines a deep breath, a long exhale, and stretching of the jaw and softening of the face. These are all signals that the body recognises as calming. This is why people often begin to yawn during meditation, gentle breath work, and when they're getting massages or when they finally stop rushing around and they finally sit down at the end of the day. Now, if yawning or air hunger shows up during anxiety, the best approach is gentle curiosity rather than fear. A slow breath in through the nose, followed by a longer out breath, helps as does unclenching the jaw, relaxing the tongue and shoulders, and taking things at a calmer pace. Now, the more we understand what is happening in our body, the less frightening it feels and the easier it is to become settled. So for most people, yawning is simply a sign that the body is changing state. It can mean that we are tired, relaxed, releasing tension, or moving out of the fight and flight mode. It is usually nothing to be concerned about. However, if yawning is accompanied by any pain, any dizziness or any other unusual symptoms, it is always sensible to speak to your GP or your healthcare provider. So if you are getting value from this video, please do go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button so that you're kept up to date every time I release a new video. When air hunger strikes, it's easy to believe something is wrong, but the body is not broken. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do in the face of what it perceives to be a danger. This is why self-reassurance is so important. Recognizing that our symptoms are anxiety-based doesn't mean that they're all in our head. They're real physical experiences produced by the body's protective systems. As Mind UK explains, learning to calm the body first often helps calm the mind. You don't have to think your way out of anxiety. You can start by breathing your way back to safety. Now, here are 8 natural ways to ease air hunger and rebalance your nervous system. These simple, natural tools can be used at home to help ease air hunger and restore calm. They are small, powerful steps towards healing. Number 1, ground yourself before controlling your breath. Now sit with both feet flat on the floor. Notice the texture of the ground beneath you. Feel your body's weight supported by the chair before you try to fix your breathing. Remind your body and your mind that you are safe. Soften the muscles around your breath. The muscles between our ribs are called the intercostal muscles. They help our rib cage to expand when we breathe in, and they soften when we breathe out. Now, when we feel anxious or tense, these muscles can tighten without us realising. This can make breathing feel restricted and sharp, creating the feeling of not getting a full breath. Now, the good news is that these muscles can be relaxed with slow, calm movements and softer breathing rather than forceful, deep breaths. So here are some simple, easy ways to help them release and relax. First of all, rest your hands on your sides. Place your hands gently on your lower ribs so that you can feel them move. This helps us to pay more attention to our body and allows us to soften around our ribs. Try breathing in through your nose slowly. Instead of lifting your shoulders, let the ribs widen outwards slightly into your hands. Think of the breath as spreading sideways rather than upwards. Let the breath leave your body without pushing it out. A longer exhale naturally relaxes the rib muscles and sends signals to the body that we are safe. Try softening the jaw and the tongue. Now, when we feel anxious, the tongue often becomes tense without us noticing. It can become so that it feels like it's stuck to the roof of our mouth, or it becomes rigid. The tongue is connected to the muscles in the jaw, the throat, and even the upper chest. So when our tongue tightens, it can narrow the airways slightly and make our breathing feel tighter and restricted. Now, this can create the feeling of needing to take a deeper breath or yawn. By relaxing the tongue, the throat softens, the jaw releases, and the breathing muscles are able to move more freely. Relaxing the tongue also sends calming signals through the nervous system. The tongue and jaw are closely linked to the vagus nerve, which helps us move into a calmer, more relaxed state. When the tongue softens, it tells the body that it's safe to relax. Many people notice that when they let the tongue rest gently at the bottom of the mouth or float within the mouth, their shoulders drop, their breath slows, and their chest feels less tight. It is a small change that can make a big difference to how the body feels, especially during moments of anxiety. So try it now. Just try relaxing your tongue. Now you can try these gentle exercises to relax the rib cage. Lift one arm high up above your head and lean slightly to the opposite side. You may feel the ribs open here. Hold for a few breaths and then switch sides. Another good exercise is to sit upright and gently rotate your upper body to one side and then the other. This helps the rib cage loosen without putting strain on it. Alternatively, you can lie on your side and breathe into your ribs. This position makes it slightly easier to feel the rib cage expand. Many people find this immediately calming, so it's a great one to do in bed before you go to sleep. These movements should feel comfortable, slow and easy. There should be no pushing or forcing the breath. When the nervous system feels safe, the intercostal muscles soften naturally and breathing begins to feel freer again. This is why clients often notice their breathing feels easier once they take back control of their anxiety. Number 3, try diaphragmatic or belly breathing. You will notice when watching a newborn baby that their tummy rises and falls, not their chest. This is also how you used to breathe too. Now to reconnect with belly breathing, lay on your back and place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Breathe in through your nose so your belly rises more than your chest, and notice how your hand rises too. Exhale slowly through your mouth as if gently blowing through a straw, and notice your hands on your belly fall. Repeat this exercise for several minutes until you feel calmer and more in control of your breathing. Number 4, use reassuring self-talk or a reassuring mantra. When you feel panic rising, whisper to yourself, I am safe. This feeling will pass and my body knows exactly what to do. This retrains our brain to interpret the sensations as uncomfortable but not dangerous. Number 5, move your body gently. Light walks, stretching or gentle yoga help release the build-up of energy from the stress response, and gentle movement reminds our body that it's safe to relax. It's even better for our bodies and our minds if we get to be outside and exercise in nature. Number 6, journal out your triggers. Notice when air hunger occurs. You may find patterns linked to stress, anxiety and exhaustion. Awareness is the first step towards change. You can download our journal questions to reduce anxiety. It's a workbook that we have and it's over in the description. There's full instructions so you can download it and get started right away. Number 8, create a soothing evening routine. Dim the lights, slow the breath and avoid screens for 30 minutes before bed. Calm evenings prepare our nervous system for deep rest. Now, while home techniques can bring comfort, lasting change often requires us to go a little bit deeper. That's where anxiety therapy can make a profound difference. Now, Better Your Life, our sessions use nervous system therapy to help you. Now, we identify what your triggers are and how your anxiety, how your body responds. So we understand how your body wants to communicate its distress. We rewire your nervous system to feel safe again and rebuild trust in your body's ability to breathe naturally. We combine neuroscience with emotional regulation and practical tools that fit into everyday life. You learn not only how to breathe more easily, but how to live more easily. Now, if you've been struggling with air hunger, know that you can feel calm again. The sensations that feel so overpowering right now can ease once your body learns that it's safe. So I hope you found this interesting and useful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.